So today I'm going to be discussing the two most recent presidents that we've had, Barack Obama and Donald Trump, and just going over the pros and cons of each of their presidencies. So starting with Obama, he stabilized the economy, which was originally on the brink of ruin, and Bush didn't really put him in a good situation for that, but he did handle it well. He killed Osama bin Laden with his Navy SEALs, and that was really good for the country and get ISIS threat kind of dumbed down a little bit. He wound down two wars, which could have exploded and been much worse than they really were, but he handled the situation well. The healthcare reform was flawed, but it was still a start, and it really got healthcare a lot better for a lot of our countries. He was pro education and pro science for alternate energy and climate, which really helped out the environment as a whole and just the whole world. And he was the first president to support gay rights, and they got much more rights and could be married in many states now. He was the first black president, which was very big for our country, a big milestone. And he had the Health Hunger Free Kids Act, which really made kids eat healthier in school. And that was more Michelle Obama, but it was the whole package. He didn't do much his second term, however. The Arab Spring resulted in power vacuums and instability. He had failure in Congress with both parties, and he continued many Bush wartime policies, which weren't very effective. There was record levels of income inequality, which wasn't good. Many 1% of the country, as a video we saw earlier in the class, controls most of the economy, and he doubled debt from 10 to 20 trillion, which was not good either. Some pros for Donald Trump, who was just most recently elected in one of the craziest elections we've ever had. He's independent from the party structures. If you don't like the stereotypical RNC candidate, he's your guy because he's not really like anybody we've ever had before. He is an established businessman, which makes him good for our country because financially he knows what he's doing, and that could be what our country needs. And many people like him because they like to see the road that he's taken our country down financially, and hopefully he can get our economy back up. He does have a lot of cons, however. He has various scandals related to his business practices, some regarding possible corruption, so that's never good to see out of a president. And he is abrasive. A lot of people don't like him. Certain ethnicity groups don't like him. He's unpopular abroad. Many allies aren't fond of him because they think he's just a crazy NBC guy that doesn't really know much about politics. He's very insincere. Many of the facts that he throws out aren't very true, and people have checked them and they found to be completely wrong. He did try to ban Muslims with a travel ban, which was, in my opinion, horrible for the country, and that was repealed quickly. He pulled us out of the Paris Climate Agreement, which also wasn't good. Many people don't like how he handled that, and a lot of cities have stepped up in rebellion of that. And he repealed Obamacare, which many people were upset. It gave the country a lot of people who couldn't afford healthcare, but that's also being under review, and that's very complicated. So at the end of the day, I think Barack Obama, he did have negatives, but he was well liked by people, and he was a family guy. And Donald Trump, we haven't seen much of him. He's only been president for a few months, and hopefully he can take our country down the right way.